At Beverly Hills' most exclusive BMW dealership, wealthy customer Marcus Sterling had just humiliated mechanic Jake in front of everyone, calling him an ignorant grease monkey who'd never amount to anything. But what Marcus didn't know was that the uneducated mechanic in dirty coveralls was actually Lieutenant Colonel Jake Maverick Williams, a decorated Air Force F-16 pilot who had spent 18 years defending American skies. Today, the man they looked down on was about to remind everyone what real honor looks like. Beverly Hills Premium Motors on Rodeo Drive was the most exclusive automotive service center in Los Angeles. With its marble floors, crystal chandeliers, and private VIP lounges, it catered exclusively to Hollywood elite, tech billionaires, and old money families. But the real heart of the operation was in the back garage, where 47-year-old Jake Williams worked in his blue coveralls. Today, BrokenContact.com. Welcome to Mysterious Human Stories, where we uncover the extraordinary people hiding in plain sight. Before we dive into this incredible tale of disrespect meeting its match, make sure you've hit that subscribe button. We're growing fast and don't want you to miss any of these jaw-dropping stories. Tell us in the comments what city you're watching from. We love hearing from our amazing community. Jake Williams had been working at Beverly Hills Premium Motors for 6 years. Every morning at 7 a.m. sharp, he'd clock in, put on his standard issue coveralls, and take his position at the service bay. Grease under his fingernails, oil stains on his uniform, calloused hands from years of work, he looked exactly like what everyone expected from a car mechanic. The dealership owner, Richard Goldman, was a third-generation Beverly Hills businessman who had built the family auto empire into the most prestigious service center on the West Coast. BMW, Mercedes, Porsche, Lamborghini, only the finest European vehicles. His clientele included A-list actors, Fortune 500 CEOs, and politicians. Richard maintained a strict hierarchy among his staff. He treated the sales team and customer service reps with professional courtesy, but the mechanics were just the help, and Jake, being the quietest and most unassuming of the bunch, received the least respect. "Jake, wash those hands before any customers see you," Richard would say. "This is a luxury establishment, not some back alley garage." Jake never argued. He'd simply nod and continue with his work. That Tuesday morning changed everything. At 10:30 a.m., one of the dealership's most valuable customers arrived. Marcus Sterling, a tech mogul worth $500 million, drove up in his brand new BMW M8 competition. With him was his business partner, David Chen, equally wealthy and equally arrogant. The BMW had a minor paint scratch on the rear quarter panel. Jake was assigned to fix it. "Richard, this guy is going to work on my $150,000 car? Look at him. He looks like he crawled out of a junkyard. Are you serious?" Richard, desperate to keep his biggest client happy, jumped in. "Don't worry, Marcus. Jake may look rough around the edges, but he gets the job done. He's just a blue-collar guy, but he knows his way around bodywork." David laughed mockingly. "Guys like this probably never made it past high school. What could he possibly know about precision German engineering?" Jake stood at his workstation, hearing every word but remaining silent. Richard continued, trying to reassure his clients. Honestly, what else would he do? No education, no certifications. At least here he can make a decent living doing manual labor. Marcus shook his head in disgust. "Richard, why do you employ these losers? Your clientele deserves better than having some uneducated grease monkey touching their vehicles." That's when Jake spoke up. Marcus was stunned. "What did you just say?" Jake continued calmly. "The BMW M8's new models have a known issue with the driver assistance package. You're getting false readings from the adaptive cruise control system." Richard immediately tried to shut him down. "Jake, stick to bodywork. Don't bother our customers with technical talk you don't understand." But Jake kept going. "If you run a diagnostic scan, you'll find error code 5B7F in the vehicle's computer system. That indicates a failure in the frontal collision warning network." Marcus's jaw dropped. Everything Jake had said was exactly what the BMW authorized dealer had told him the week before. David stammered, How does this guy know all this? Richard was now embarrassed in front of his most important clients. Jake, that's enough. Get back to your work and stop pretending you understand complex automotive systems. But the damage was done. Marcus was intrigued. Wait a minute. How do you know so much about BMW's technical systems? Jake calmly wiped his hands on a rag and reached into his pocket. He pulled out a worn leather wallet and extracted a carefully preserved ID card. Lieutenant Colonel Jake Williams, United States Air Force, retired. The entire showroom went dead silent. Richard's face went pale. Marcus and David looked like they'd seen a ghost. I flew F-16 Fighting Falcons for 18 years, Jake said in a calm, authoritative voice. 3,000 flight hours, 2 tours in Afghanistan, 1 in Iraq. Marcus could barely speak. You're a fighter pilot? Was. And F-16s use the same advanced radar and computer systems that BMW incorporates in their vehicles. Collision avoidance, threat detection, computer-controlled navigation. It's all similar technology. Richard was still in shock. Jake, Colonel, why didn't you ever mention this? Jake smiled slightly. Because, according to you, I was just an uneducated blue-collar guy. Why would you listen? Marcus hung his head in shame. Colonel Williams, I sincerely apologize. I had no idea. You didn't need to know my background, Jake replied, but you should have shown basic respect. David jumped in. But why did you stop flying? Why are you working here? Jake's expression became more serious. The Air Force has mandatory retirement at 20 years for most pilots. I was 42 when I retired, with full honors. But I still had kids to put through college, a mortgage to pay. Not everyone gets to live off their military pension. Richard was now completely mortified. Colonel Williams, Jake, I've been incredibly disrespectful. I'm so sorry. Richard, Jake said, I've worked here for 6 years without complaint. But while you've been calling me uneducated, you forgot that I went from ground level to 50,000 feet protecting American airspace. Marcus immediately pulled out his business card. Colonel, you shouldn't be working in a place like this. I want to offer you a position at my company. Head of Aerospace Technology Division. 7 figures, full benefits. Jake shook his head. I appreciate the offer, Mr. Sterling, but I'm content with my work here. I just want respect, not charity. From that day forward, everything changed at Beverly Hills Premium Motors. Richard started introducing Jake as our technical advisor and former Air Force colonel. He gave Jake a substantial raise and his own office overlooking the service bay. The customers' attitudes completely transformed. Wealthy clients who used to ignore Jake now specifically requested him for their vehicles. They'd spend hours listening to his F-16 stories and asking about his military service. Marcus became one of Jake's biggest advocates, telling everyone about the fighter pilot who fixes my BMW. 3 months later, Beverly Hills Premium Motors had become famous throughout Los Angeles. Word spread that they had a real F-16 pilot working there, and the shop's prestige skyrocketed. Customers came not just for service, but to meet Jake and hear his stories. Richard approached Jake one day. Colonel, do you ever regret it? I treated you terribly for years. Jake replied, Richard, I spent 18 years serving at 30,000 feet. I've spent 6 years serving at ground level. Both are honorable work. It just took some people longer to understand that. But I called you uneducated, said you'd never amount to anything. You judged me before you knew me, but I continue to respect you even after I knew you. That's the difference. A year later, Jake's story was featured on 60 Minutes in a segment called From Fighter Jets to Fixing Cars, America's Hidden Heroes. The episode highlighted how many military veterans take civilian jobs that don't reflect their incredible skills and experience. After the broadcast, Jake received hundreds of job offers from aerospace companies, tech firms, and consulting groups offering salaries in the millions. He turned them all down. Why? The interviewer asked. Because the greatest lesson I learned wasn't in the cockpit of an F-16, Jake said. It was here in this garage. Real honor isn't about what you do for a living. It's about how you conduct yourself, no matter what you do. I didn't lose my dignity when I stopped flying. I just found a new way to serve. Today, Jake Williams is a partner at Beverly Hills Premium Motors. He has his own office with his Air Force decorations on the wall. But he still works in the garage because he loves the hands-on technical work. Richard and Jake are now genuine friends and equal business partners. G's customers still call him Colonel, and he's become a mentor to young mechanics, teaching them that every job has dignity if you bring honor to it. The shop now has a plaque near the entrance that reads, "Excellence in Service, on the ground and in the air. Lieutenant Colonel Jake Maverick Williams, USAF, retired." This story teaches us that rank is temporary, but character is permanent. Money can buy status, but it can't buy respect. And most importantly, every person deserves dignity, regardless of what uniform they wear or what job they do. Jake Williams spent 18 years protecting American skies. Then he spent 6 years fixing American cars. Both were equally honorable, because service, no matter where it's performed, is noble work. The real pilot isn't just someone who can fly a plane. It's someone who can navigate life with skill, dignity, and grace. So remember, never judge someone by their job title, because you never know what skies they've conquered or what battles they've fought for this country. Don't forget to subscribe for more incredible stories, and we'll see you in the next episode of Mysterious Human Stories.